Eloise's POV. Yes, I will be coming home tonight. 7 simple words that made my entire day. My husband will finally be coming home tonight after 2 weeks of business trips, and I cannot wait to see him. Most especially because today is his birthday and I have planned a surprise party for him. Work has been hectic recently since my leader left. I have taken more responsibility for the team, so working overtime has been a new norm for me. But still, I managed to bring this party to life after staying up for several nights. Balloons and ribbons have been hung, confetti party poppers are ready to be popped. His birthday cake is chilling in the fridge and dishes are minutes from finished. The most exciting part of all this is the gift I made for him. I used to be a perfumer at my parents' company, which is now a subsidiary of my husband's business group. It has always been an intimate and special thing for me to create a personal perfume for someone, as it embodies my most personal and deepest feelings towards them. Klein doesn't know this, but that doesn't matter. Klein and I did not marry out of love. At least not for him. We have known each other for a long time, but we were nothing more than acquaintances when we tied the knot. Our marriage was a family alliance, and it was more for the benefit of our families than for ourselves. Still, I was the happiest girl in the world because I had this long-time crush on him. There were a few other candidates out there, but because of my family's companies, Foroma, influence, and Klein's grandpa's affection for me, I eventually got the title of Mrs. Klein. I was over the moon with excitement because, given the chance, I had confidence to eventually make things work between us. My smile has not faded since I started admiring the entire setup in the living room. Everything looks perfect. Just 20 minutes. I asked Logan, his PA, his flight's arrival time and calculated when he should be home. Just 20 minutes away. In the eyes of the general public, Klein is the perfect husband who loves and cares for his wife, namely me, and respects her family. Our relationship is harmonious, and Klein is indeed very generous with me, but I still feel there's an invisible wall between us. In fact, we only see each other a few times in a month because he's always busy flying in and out of the country for his business trips. I get it though, as he has the whole family group to take care of. And it takes time for a man to fully open up his heart. Being an understanding wife, I leave space for him, and he pays me back with respect. The vibration of my cell phone jolts me awake from my drowsiness. My eyes drop down to the lit screen, praying for it to be a message from Klein, but it's just a random social media notification. My mouth widens and a loud gasp escapes my lips when I read the time on my screen. 9:30 p.m. It's 9:30 and Klein isn't home yet. He was supposed to be back home about 1 hour ago. My finger starts to move as I go to my call logs. I freeze when I see his number. All I have to do is click on it and launch a call, but I hesitate to do so. Klein hates it when I ring his phone when he is attending something important. Maybe I should wait a few more minutes. Or maybe I should call Logan. But then, it's 9:30 p.m. and they just returned from a business trip. If they really had something urgent coming, Logan would have already let me know. I have to call Klein directly. Sighing heavily, I click on Klein's name in the call logs. Why am I so nervous about talking to my own husband? The call connects after the third ring. Klein. I call calmly, quietly, expecting his smooth, deep voice to respond, but it doesn't. After waiting a few seconds, I retrieve the phone from my ears and look at the screen to make sure the call is connected, and it is. I place the phone back on my ear. Hello? Klein? Are you there? I ask, worried. A sudden soft sound of a woman's laughter fills my ears, making me freeze in shock. Oh, Klein, the woman slurs over the phone. Look at you. You're as drunk as a lord. A soft giggle follows that statement, and I can feel the screws in my head untying themselves as I try to understand what is going on. Who is this woman and why is she answering my husband's call? Excuse me, who are you? I ask, alarmed. I'm about to set something on fire right now. You know it's because of you he's in this state, right? Another voice speaks over the phone. This time around it's a man's voice. It doesn't belong to Klein, but I know whose it is. Morgan Kelly, Klein's best friend. I want to scream, but what comes out of my mouth is only silence. What do you mean? The woman asks, still giggling, and I can tell she's drunk. He hasn't gotten drunk in like forever. I guess meeting you again has awakened some fluttering memories. Suddenly, the call ends, leaving a series of beeps from the receiver. My heart starts beating crazily and I feel like everything is spinning, making me want to puke. When I redial the number, it says the phone has been switched off. Klein doesn't come back home that night. Eloise's POV. Swollen, red eyes that burn like fire as I struggle to keep them open. Tear-stained cheeks and sirens spinning in my head. These are the aftermaths of crying myself to sleep last night. Well, this morning I would say. After that puzzling phone call, I called Logan and asked where Klein was. Logan said Klein joined Morgan at the last minute after arriving at the airport, but when I asked who the woman was, he said he was unaware of any woman present. Klein specifically told Logan to not follow him, so he didn't know where he was afterwards. I even called my best friend, Maeve, and asked her if she had any chance knowing where Klein went since she had some connections. But the answer was negative. A painful lump forms in my throat as I rise from the sofa I slept on last night, and see the decorations still hanging on the walls. The unused confettis are still on the table where I placed them. Nothing has been touched. I prepared all these with so much love and I was excited to spend even just a few minutes alone with Klein on his birthday, but he chose to stand me up and spend the night wherever he was. I feel like a pathetic joke for believing it all this time that if I did my part well, Klein would reciprocate my feelings. Did he not remember he promised me to come home? Or did he deliberately spend his birthday with someone rather than me? Is that his way of telling me I'm not important at all? My rational mind tells me the call was picked up and cut off deliberately. It was a declaration from that woman that she was with my husband. It was also a mockery, mocking how all my cries were powerless. And adding the fact that Klein didn't come home all night, it wasn't hard to put things together. Klein spent the night with her. He cheated on me. Still, my aching heart keeps telling me maybe he didn't, and that he just went back to his other apartment on his own. And that they were really just friends. I go over to the kitchen and retrieve a piece of cake from the fridge and sit on a stool. Klein isn't going to eat it anyway. But then I realize I have lost my appetite. I can't even bring myself to taste the cake. Just then, a message dings in my phone, snapping me out of my depressing thoughts. I drag my eyes to the phone screen, expecting nothing at all, but my heart misses a beat when I see that it's a message from Klein. I lose my grip on the fork in my hand and it falls on the plate before me. Quickly, I pick up the phone, read the message, which reads: "Something came up last night, that's why I couldn't come back home. Sorry. I'm on my way home to pick you up so we can go over to my parents." I start typing a long text rapidly, asking him his whereabouts last night, but on second thought, I delete the long sentence and send a one-word response. Okay. 30 minutes later, his car pulls up in the driveway and his driver comes over and opens the backseat door for me. I thank him with a simple nod and hop into the car. When my eyes meet Klein's, I notice he looks calm and pristine as always, not like someone who got himself all wasted last night. Or someone who was in guilt. It's like nothing wrong happened. "Good morning," I whisper to him as I buckle my seatbelt. I am angry and heartbroken and confused and I want to lash out at him right now, but I manage to keep my cool. He turns to me and his handsome face comes into full view. If only he knows how much I missed him while he was away. "Good morning, Eloise," he replies calmly. When we got married, I thought Klein would call me Elle like my close friends do, and I had been secretly thrilled by just thinking about that. But he insisted on calling me Eloise till today, in the most formal way possible. No one has been able to make him stop. But that's not what's important right now. The silence in the car is deafening as the driver sends us to Klein's parents. Klein keeps his mouth shut and his eyes at the window, and it's making me even more uncomfortable. Finally, I open my handbag and take out a medium-sized decorated box from it. It's the perfume I made for him. Klein. I call and he turns to look at me. I wish you a belated happy birthday. I say in a practiced happy tone and with a forced smile on my face as I hand him the gift. I had practiced how I would introduce the perfume to him when I gave it to him, but now that the moment has come, I am at a loss for words. His eyes widen in surprise and I don't know what to conclude from that reaction. Did he think I'd forgotten about his birthday? Thank you, he says tightly and takes the box from me. Then he just puts it aside, not even bothering to open it and see what's inside, and that shatters my already broken heart into tiny pieces. Why is he so cruel? Who did you spend the day with? The question tumbles from my mouth before I can hold my tongue. His brows crease as he gives me an intense look. With Morgan and some other friends. He replies curtly and I find myself nodding even though I'm not satisfied with his response. If anything, it has only deepened my doubts. Now, my mind is buzzing with questions relating to his response, but I stay quiet, hoping he'll say more. He doesn't. Several minutes go by and there's still no sign that he'll utter any more words to me concerning the issue. What the heck is wrong with this man? He broke his promise to me yesterday and didn't come home all night, but here he is, acting like he doesn't owe me any explanation. I really want to confront him, but I hold myself back knowing it's not good timing right now. We would be at his parents' soon and having a fight with Klein before seeing his mom is going to make things even worse. She hasn't been a friendly figure for a while. I'd rather save the fight for later, if that's ever going to happen. When we arrive at the mansion, we both go into the house and my mood immediately turns sour when we meet his mother, Mrs. Iris Wesley, and his cousin's wife, Ava, waiting for us in the dining room. Good morning, Mom. I greet respectfully, but the woman only pulls her son into a warm hug. Eloise. Stunning as always. You are going to outshine all of us. Ava suddenly turns to me and greets me excitedly. I give her a faint smile, knowing that she isn't genuinely complimenting me. She is sly as a fox. I have learnt that with time. If she could spare just a little precious time of hers to think about her family other than herself, that would save all of our day. Here it comes. My mother-in-law picked up the conversation immediately like they had practiced it together before. She acts like she's only talking to Ava, but she's still loud enough for me to pick up every single word. Then she raised her voice. Thank God I have you, Ava. It's so kind of you to prepare this meal with me. You are such a helper and you know you didn't have to do this at all. Don't say that, Mom. This is the least I can do. I'm not as smart as Eloise, so I can't help my man in business. She says and winks at me, as if trying to help me in this situation. I know she's only fueling Mrs. Wesley's urge to say more disdainful things to my face. Yeah, as if Foroma Enterprise isn't still dropping. She said exaggeratedly, I tell you, women can never be as good as men at work and have the same vision as men. That's why I stay at home and take care of my family. Because this is my responsibility and also my strength. I just lost my appetite. How can she be so proud of such an outdated and self-deprecating opinion? Eloise, she faces me. You are a married woman and whether you like it or not, you have to take up the responsibility of feeding and serving your husband instead of going out there to work like you're a man. And your most essential duty as Klein Wesley's wife is to have a child, yet you haven't been able to accomplish that after so many years. A surge of rage flows through my heart. How am I supposed to get pregnant? When Klein is hardly at home and even the few times we get intimate, he insists on using protection every time. When I first got married to Klein, Mrs. Wesley wasn't this bad. I knew she had always wanted me to be a stay-home wife like she was, but I refused. I had my dream, and it was to become a renowned perfumer and elevate my family's brand to the very top of the global stage. Since Klein didn't want someone clinging to him anyway, he didn't care if I went out to work, or should I say he would rather prefer it this way. But anyway, I still did my best to balance work and being an attentive wife. Things began to change when our family's company suddenly faced a massive crisis, and we had to be acquired by Klein's family's group, Wesley Group, just to keep the brand alive. I have also been working extra hard to help our company get back on the right track. It was since then that my mother-in-law began to show her dissatisfaction with me openly, picking on me in every possible way. It was as if all of this proved her right, that my efforts were a waste of time, that I was just a selfish person trying to satisfy my own desires, and that I had failed as a wife when it came to the family responsibility. I don't think a woman's value depends on whether she gives birth to children. I say as calmly as I can manage. You are Klein Wesley's wife, and that's what you are supposed to do. She spat furiously. I don't know why my son is still married to you. If it were up to me, he would divorce you right here and now, and I'd find him a more decent and obedient wife. The table went completely silent, except for Ava's gasping. Why am I here anyway? After learning that my husband had spent the night with another woman, I have to sit with his mom the next morning listening to her lecture on how bad of a wife I am and how he should divorce me already? Hello? That's enough, Mom. Klein's stern voice stopped me before I could fight back. I waited, wanting to hear his affirmation of me, and my hard work, but nothing came. Just then, my phone vibrates on the table. I want to ignore the coming message, but the preview catches my attention. It's a text from Maeve which reads: Klein was photographed entering a hotel with a woman last night. Check the link. My heart skips a beat, a palpable pause that reverberates through my chest. With trembling fingers, I click on the link which leads me to a post titled, What happens to family alliance when old feelings are rekindled? Below the title are several pictures of Klein holding a girl in a hotel lobby, entering a hotel room and leaving the hotel together. I blink rapidly, trying to clear the fog of disbelief clouding my vision as I stare blankly at my phone screen. My hands are trembling uncontrollably. My eyebrows shoot up, forming an arch of astonishment as I look at Klein, whose face remains expressionless as he eats his food. Klein really cheated on me last night. Eloise's POV. I felt a wave of nausea just by sitting with these people. Excuse me. I blurt out and my legs start carrying me out of the dining room before I lose my temper and do something I'll regret. Wow, now she just left the table when everyone's not finished? Klein, this is exactly what happens when you don't discipline your woman. Mrs. Wesley's nonsense keeps ringing in the back. I only stop walking when I'm out in the building premises. My heart is as heavy as a rock. I'm taking in short, shallow breaths to try and steady my raging heartbeats, and I'm blinking many times to stop the tears burning in my eyes from spilling down. How did I let my life become like this? Eloise. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Eloise. He calls yet again in his cool tone. Sighing heavily, I snap my eyes open and his face comes to view. He looks calm and collected as always. Yes. I answer dryly. What was that about? What exactly? Throwing your cutleries and walking out on everyone. That was uncalled for. His accusing words are accompanied by an ice-cold look in his eyes. A look that sends shivers down my spine, but I don't let myself falter. Klein. I suck. In a deep breath and try to steady my shaky voice. How am I supposed to remain calm when your mother keeps insulting me? I have already asked her to stop. walking out on everyone like that would just give her another excuse to come after you. I stare at him blankly, completely speechless. Cut the crap, Klein, you know the reason for my mood isn't only about your mother's insults. Where were you last night? I already told you something came up. Darn it, Klein. Am I a fool to you? You were with a freaking woman last night. You were drunk. Both of you went to a hotel together. And now you stand here and tell me something came up. Is it a norm for you to go to the hotel with other women? How did you find out about that? I stare at him in disbelief. Is that all you have to say? I ask, fuming with rage. How can someone say such a shameless thing with a straight face? Let me tell you how I found out. I heard that BTCH's voice through the call. She freaking picked it up just to let me know she was with you. And your photos with her in the hotel are all over the internet. See how I knew about it? Klein stares at me with a blank expression and releases a small sigh. If you are referring to Jasmine, she's just an old friend of mine and I'd appreciate it if you addressed her with respect. And for the pictures, show me the link. He says in his usual cool tone and I scoff. You don't even think that's a problem, so why bother to look at the pictures? Eloise, show me the link. His cold and firm tone makes me jump in fright and I quickly hand over the phone to him. I take a step back and silence stretches through the atmosphere as I watch him scroll through my phone for a while before handing it back to me. When I check the screen, I notice he has forwarded the link to his number in my phone. I look up at him. Pictures like this will cause scandals and damage the group's reputation. Also, Grandpa's health is not in the best condition right now, so we can't let this reach to him. I've asked Logan to take care of this. He explains coldly, staring at me as though that's the best thing he could say to me in this situation. I cross my arms over my breasts and scoff in derision. I can't believe you just said that to my face. How about you leave things as they are and tell the world you are sleeping with another woman? Don't bother, I'll still call you a man and if she's the one you want. All you have to do is tell me and I will quit. Just don't treat me like a fool. Eloise. He calls and inches closer, his eyes zeroed on me. I look away with a huff. Yesterday, Morgan organized a small party with a few other friends since Jasmine just returned to the country. It was like a welcome-back party for her. I drank, got drunk, so they sent me to Morgan's hotel. That's all. Nothing else happened. He explains calmly and I look back at him with a deep scowl on my face. And why should I believe you? I can ask Logan to find all the security footage at the time I was at the hotel last night, if that's what you want. He says, his gaze never leaving my face and the sincerity shimmers in his eyes. Eloise, I'm sorry I didn't make it home yesterday. His apology takes me off guard. My stomach does a flip as I look back at him. His cold mask has disappeared and he actually looks remorseful. That makes my heart swell with emotions. I didn't know you'd remember my birthday. I didn't remember it myself. A fleeting frown touches my face. We've been married for 3 years, how on earth would I not remember such an important day of his life? Of course I did. I say in a small voice and pout my lips. You've been too uptight and stressed lately and you need to relax. I'll take you out on a fancy dinner in 2 weeks' time. Just you and me, how does that sound? He tilts his head and gives me a playful look. Surprise spreads through me like a raging river. It sounds absolutely riveting. He knows how to make my insides melt from a sentence. Taking me out for dinner is something he hardly ever did. My heart is thrumming with happiness, but I mask it with a frown. I will check my schedule and let you know if I'm free. Right. You do that. Listen, I said sternly with determination, I'll let it go this time. But if I do find you cheating on me, I won't hold back. I won't do such thing. Before we can say anything more, Klein's ringtone starts blasting and he looks down at the screen for a split second before turning to me again. 1 minute, please. He walks a few meters away before answering the call, and from his knitted brows, I can tell it's something important. Probably work-related. I patiently wait for him to finish the call, and once he does, he returns and a heavy sigh escapes his chest when he steps in front of me. Unfortunately, I have to go back to the office now, but I can give you a ride home before doing that. Are you coming with me? Well, I hesitate. I don't think all doubts have been cleared yet, and I can't pretend we are back on good terms already, but the sincere look in his eyes gives me hope. I think I'm good. I'll go home later with the driver. Are you sure? He asks, concerned, and I give him a small nod. All right then, see you later. Shock fills my entire being when he gently strokes my hair and gives me a forehead kiss before heading to his car. That completely caught me off guard, and now I'm blushing and at the same time, fighting the urge to feel happy about it. I am still angry with him, darn it. I shouldn't be this pathetic.